Ladies and gentlemen, let me begin with a simple truth. Success is nothing more than a few small disciplines practiced every day, and failure, just a few errors in judgment repeated daily. The difference between the two is so small, it's almost invisible. But over time, that small difference becomes the Grand Canyon between mediocrity and greatness. You see, people often chase the big wins, the overnight success, the jackpot, the instant breakthrough. But life doesn't work that way. Life responds to the small things done consistently. Not the dramatic, but the deliberate. Want a better body? You don't need to run a marathon tomorrow. Start with 10 minutes of walking today. Want to be wiser? You don't need a PhD. Just read 10 pages of a good book tonight. Want to build wealth? You don't need a lottery ticket. Just skip one unnecessary purchase a day and save it. Tiny hinges swing big doors. And here's the secret. What's easy to do is also easy not to do. It's easy to drink more water, but it's also easy to ignore. It's easy to make that morning plan, but it's easy to skip. The small things are silent, but they speak volumes over time. The key to change is not in trying to do everything at once. It's choosing one habit and making it stick. Let it become part of you. Then stack another and another. Soon, you've built a ladder tall enough to climb your biggest dreams. Your life is not changed by big events. It's transformed by small habits. Do not underestimate the power of repetition. Do not dismiss the effect of one positive action done daily, because those actions compound, and one day, they'll surprise even you. So I challenge you today, pick one small habit, make it your own, then watch how the rest of your life starts to shift. Because if you master the small, the big will bow to you. Success is built on daily disciplines, not dramatic action. What's easy to do is also easy not to do. Choose wisely. Small habits done consistently have more power than big efforts done occasionally. Tiny improvements compounded daily lead to massive transformation. Focus on becoming 1% better each day. It adds up fast. You don't need motivation every day. You need a system of small wins. Habits shape your identity. Small actions lead to big self-belief. Start with one habit, master it, and then stack the next one. Don't wait for inspiration. Let discipline guide you. If you take care of the days, the years will take care of themselves. Success doesn't come from one big moment. It comes from the little things, done right, done repeatedly, done with purpose. The problem is, most people are waiting for a lightning bolt, a breakthrough, a lucky chance. But that's not how life works. Success is not found in the spotlight. It's found in the quiet early mornings. It's found in saying yes to growth and no to excuses. It's in writing the goals down, even when no one's watching. It's in showing up when you don't feel like it. It's in finishing what you start. The truth is, the small disciplines done daily are what separate the successful from the struggling. Not because they're smarter, not because they're luckier, but because they've learned the power of doing the right things over and over again. The results might not show up tomorrow or next week, but give it time. Stay consistent, and one day, the world will call it success. You'll know it was simply your discipline, showing up quietly every single day. It's a simple idea, but it carries a heavy truth. What's easy to do is also easy not to do. That's the silent battle we all face every day. It's easy to drink more water, to read 10 pages, to take a walk, to say thank you, to make that one extra call. But it's also just as easy to put it off, to skip it, to say I'll do it tomorrow. That's the trap, because the consequences don't show up right away. Skip the book today? No big deal. Eat the junk food tonight? Nothing changes. But stack those easy not to do's over weeks, months, years, and suddenly life feels off track. Not because of one big mistake, but because of 100 small decisions that were easy to avoid. The good news, the reverse is also true. Do the small thing, the things that seem too simple to matter. Do them again tomorrow, then again, and soon, you've built momentum. You feel sharper, stronger, more confident, and life begins to reward you. So each day offers a quiet choice. Do what's easy and useful, or skip it and deal with the quiet cost later. Choose wisely, because the direction of your life isn't changed by big events. It's shaped by small actions, repeated. Big efforts are exciting. They make noise. They draw attention. People love to talk about the big push, the crash diet, the overnight hustle. the all-nighter to fix what's been ignored for months. But here's the truth. It's not the big effort once in a while that changes your life. It's the small, quiet habit done over and over again that holds the real power. See, the big effort feels good in the moment. It gives you a rush. But then what? You go back to the same routine, the same comfort zone, and before long the results fade. It's like planting a seed, watering it once with a bucket, then walking away and wondering why it didn't grow. The seed doesn't need a flood, it needs a few drops every day. Consistency beats intensity, every time. Doing 5 push-ups every morning will do more for your body than doing 50 once a month. Writing 1 page a day will produce a book faster than waiting for the weekend to write 10. Saving $1 a day is better than saving 100 once a year, then forgetting about it. The secret is in the rhythm, the repetition, the patience to keep going even when the results aren't instant. That's the part most people miss. It doesn't look dramatic. It's not flashy. No applause, no spotlight. But the ones who win in the long run, they're the ones who honor the small habit, day in and day out. They don't rely on willpower. They build systems. They don't chase perfection. They chase progress. Because one small positive action repeated daily becomes part of your identity. And once it's who you are, you don't have to push yourself to do it anymore. It becomes automatic. That's when the real change begins. So don't underestimate what seems small. Don't wait for the perfect moment to go big. Instead, start where you are. Do what you can, and stay consistent. The small habit, done with discipline, will always outlast the big effort done with emotion. Tiny improvements. So small they almost seem like they don't matter. You do it once, and nothing changes. You do it twice, still no big result. But do it every day. That's when the magic begins. See, the world loves to celebrate the big wins, the dramatic before and after, the overnight success, the sudden breakthrough. But what they don't see is what led up to it. What they don't show is the small decisions, made quietly, stacked a day after day, with no spotlight and no fanfare. That's the power of compounding. Just like money in the bank earns interest, your actions do too. Read 10 pages a day, and in a year you've read over a dozen books. Do 15 minutes of exercise daily, and in a few months your body starts to change. Say one kind word each day, and suddenly your relationships start feeling stronger, deeper. Here's the key. You won't notice it right away, and that's why most people quit. They try for a week, maybe 2, and say, it's not working. But the law of the harvest says you don't plant a seed and eat the fruit the next morning. You water it, you care for it, you keep going when it looks like nothing's happening. Because underneath, something is. Small efforts feel insignificant, but over time, they become unstoppable. That daily choice to do a little better, to think a little sharper, to act a little wiser, it builds momentum, it builds confidence, it builds character. And one day, you look back and realize, you're not the same person. You've transformed not by one giant leap, but by hundreds of tiny steps. Massive change doesn't come from doing one thing 100 times harder. It comes from doing one small thing 100 times with purpose. And when you do that, day after day, the transformation is not just possible, it's inevitable. So never dismiss the power of a small improvement. Make it your habit. Stack it daily. Let time and consistency do their quiet, powerful work. Because in the end, it's not what you do occasionally, it's what you do consistently that shapes your destiny. Becoming 1% better each day, now that might not sound like much. In fact, to most people, it sounds too small to matter. But that's where they miss. See, 1% doesn't look impressive. It doesn't turn heads. It won't make the news. But 1% better, every single day. That's a quiet revolution. It's the kind of progress that sneaks up on you. At first, no one notices. You don't even notice. But here's the beauty. It compounds. Like interest in a savings account. Those small gains start stacking, multiplying. And before long, that 1% is no longer small. It's become powerful. It's become life-changing. Think about it. 1% better at listening, and your relationships begin to deepen. 1% better at managing your time, and suddenly your days feel more productive. 1% better with your health, and your energy starts coming back. It's not about giant leaps. It's about steady, intentional growth. Most people wait for the perfect moment to make big changes. But the truth is, you don't need a big moment. You just need a better today. One tiny improvement. One better choice. That's it. That's the game. And you play it daily. Here's the best part. It's not overwhelming. You don't have to change everything. You just commit to being slightly better than you were yesterday. Not perfect. just better. That's manageable. That's real. And over a year, 1% better each day doesn't lead to 65% improvement. It leads to over 37 times the growth. That's how compounding works. It accelerates. But you've got to start. You've got to believe that small progress is still progress. You've got to show up even when it doesn't look like it's working. Because over time, it's not about the 1% anymore. It's about who you've become along the way. So aim for 1% better, not in everything at once, but in something. One thought, one habit, one choice at a time. And if you keep going, that 1% will rewrite your story, quietly, powerfully, completely. Motivation is a great thing when it shows up. On those days when you feel inspired, fired up, ready to conquer the world, everything seems possible. But here's the problem. Motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes like the weather. You can't build your life around something that drifts in and out whenever it pleases. Some days you'll wake up ready, but many days you won't. You'll feel tired. You'll feel distracted. You'll feel like putting things off. And that's when most people fall off track. Not because they don't want to grow, but because they were depending on a feeling to keep them going. What you really need is not more motivation. You need a system, a structure, a rhythm to your day. Something you can fall back on, even when the fire isn't there. And that system, it should be built on small wins. Simple, achievable actions that you repeat every day, whether you feel like it or not. See, small wins create momentum. You make your bed in the morning. Small win. You drink a glass of water, small win. You spend 10 minutes reading, small win. And here's what happens. Each win gives you a little boost. Not a huge leap, but enough to keep moving forward. Enough to shift your mindset from I'm stuck to I'm progressing. You don't have to feel inspired to take action. In fact, most successful people act first and let motivation catch up later. They've learned to rely on habits, not hype. They've designed their days in a way that creates results, with or without a pep talk. The secret is consistency over intensity. A small system that works every day will outperform a burst of energy that fades after a few hours. So instead of waiting for motivation to strike, build routines that deliver steady wins, and let those wins, no matter how small, become your new source of confidence. Because once you start collecting small victories, something shifts inside you. You feel more capable, more focused, more in control. And before you know it, those little wins have built a life full of progress and purpose. Not because you were always motivated, but because you were always moving. Who you are is not decided in a single moment. It's shaped day by day, choice by choice, habit by habit. Every small action you take is like casting a vote for the kind of person you're becoming. And over time, those votes add up. They begin to tell a story, not just to the world, but to you. That's how identity is formed. Not from what you say you are, but from what you prove, through your consistent actions. Want to become more confident? Start showing up on time. Want to become more disciplined? Stick to one small promise each day. Want to become healthier? Make that better choice at lunch. These aren't massive moves, they're quiet, simple actions. But here's the truth. Your confidence doesn't come from achievements. It comes from alignment. When your actions line up with the person you want to be, that's when self-belief starts to grow. And it's not about being perfect. It's about being intentional. One small action done with purpose tells your mind, hey, I'm serious about this. Do it again tomorrow, and your mind begins to trust you. Keep going, and it becomes who you are. People often say, I'll believe in myself when I see results. But it doesn't work that way. You don't wait for belief, you build it. And the way you build it is through action. Tiny steps, quiet discipline, not once in a while but daily. And here's the beautiful part. You don't need to change everything to change your story. You just need to start with one habit, one small decision that aligns with the future you. Because once you see yourself following through, even in small ways, your identity starts shifting. You're no longer trying to be disciplined. You are disciplined. You're not hoping to become consistent. You are consistent. That's the power of habits. They're not just tools for productivity. They are the builders of identity. And when you stack those small positive actions day by day, you're not just improving your life, you're transforming who you are. Quietly, steadily, powerfully. So don't underestimate the small things. They're shaping your character, your mindset, your future, one habit at a time. When people decide to change their lives, they often try to change everything at once. New diet, new schedule, new goals, new mindset, all in one go. But what happens? It's too much, too fast. The weight of it crushes the momentum before it ever gets going. And in a few days or weeks, they're back where they started, only now they feel more discouraged than before. But real lasting change doesn't come from doing everything. It comes from doing one thing, and doing it well. Start small, start simple. Pick one habit that aligns with the life you want to build. Just one. Maybe it's waking up 30 minutes earlier. Maybe it's journaling at night. Maybe it's cutting sugar, or reading 10 pages a day. It doesn't have to be dramatic. It just has to be doable. Because success begins with consistency, not intensity. Now here's the secret. Don't rush to add the next thing. Master the first habit. Let it become part of you. Let it feel natural, automatic, like brushing your teeth. Once it's embedded into your routine, then you add the next one. And now it's not overwhelming. It's manageable. Because you're building one solid brick at a time. This is how momentum is built. Not through chaos but through sequence. One habit, then the next. Like stacking building blocks. You lay a strong foundation, and only when it's steady do you add the next level. And the beauty of this process is that each new habit becomes easier to adopt. Because you've already proven to yourself that you can do it. Your confidence grows with every small success. It's not about speed, it's about direction. It's not how fast you change, it's how well you sustain it. Because anybody can sprint for a day, but it takes patience and wisdom to build a system that lasts. So don't fall for the illusion of overnight change. Don't chase the giant leap. Instead, make one solid step, own it, master it, then stack the next. That's how you build a life of strength, discipline, and true transformation. One habit at a time, with full attention and full intention. Inspiration is wonderful. It feels good. It lights a fire. It gets your heart racing. But here's the truth. It's not dependable. It shows up when it wants, and it leaves without notice. You can't set your alarm clock by it. You can't build a future on it. And if you wait for inspiration to guide your actions, you'll be waiting a long time. That's why you need something stronger, something steadier, something that shows up when you don't feel like it, when the weather's bad, when the mood is off, when life gets busy. You need discipline. Discipline doesn't ask how you feel. It asks what you committed to. Discipline doesn't need excitement. It just needs action. While others are still deciding whether or not they feel inspired, discipline is already working, already showing up, already putting one foot in front of the other. See, the difference between people who succeed and people who struggle isn't talent or luck. It's consistent, and consistency lives in discipline. Not the kind that feels like punishment, but the kind that builds your self-respect. The kind that says, I said I'd do this, so I'm doing it. That builds trust with yourself, and that trust is priceless. Because once you start following through, even on the days you don't feel motivated, you become stronger. You stop waiting for the perfect conditions. You stop looking for the emotional high, and you start realizing that success is a choice, not a move. Every time you act with discipline, you're proving to yourself that you're in control, that you don't need to be pushed. You can pull yourself forward. And when you do that long enough, something powerful happens. Inspiration starts to follow discipline, not the other way around. So don't sit around waiting for the perfect moment to feel inspired. Don't wait for energy, for clarity, for motivation to knock on your door. Start moving. Take action. Let discipline take the lead. Because when you act first, the feelings often catch up. And even when they don't, you'll still be making progress. And that's what matters. Discipline will take you where motivation only wishes it could. We often get caught up in the big picture, the long-term goals, the grand vision, the future we want to create. We dream about where we'll be in 5 or 10 years, imagining the success, the freedom, the accomplishments. But here's the thing, the future doesn't show up all at once. It's made up of the tiny, seemingly insignificant moments that fill your day. The secret to creating the life you want is not to wait for some big event or life-changing moment. It's to focus on the small things you do today. It's the daily actions, the little habits, the consistent choices that build your future. If you take care of the days, the years will take care of themselves. The compound effect works on a day-to-day basis, not in a single burst of effort. Think about it. The way you spend your mornings, your routines, the choices you make when no one is watching, they are the building blocks of your tomorrow. If you invest in your health today, it shows up in your energy, your confidence, and your well-being down the road. If you spend time learning, growing, and developing skills today, that knowledge compounds into opportunities in the future. If you treat others with respect and kindness today, those actions build relationships that last a lifetime. The key is that each day is an opportunity. It's a fresh start to take one more step in the direction you want to go. So instead of obsessing over where you want to be years from now, Focus on making today count. Take the small necessary actions, whether it's reading for 15 minutes, exercising for 20 minutes, or making that phone call you've been putting off. When you focus on the present, on making the most of your time today, you naturally build a strong foundation for the future. And before you know it, the years have passed, but they've taken you somewhere significant, because you've been intentional with the day. It's easy to feel overwhelmed when we think about everything we want to accomplish. But if you focus on just today, and commit to doing your best in the small moments, the long-term results will happen automatically. The years will take care of themselves, because they'll be a direct reflection of how you lived your days. You don't have to chase the future, it'll come to you, shaped by the choices you make today. The journey to success, growth, and transformation is not a matter of dramatic single-day efforts, but a long-term commitment to small intentional actions that build upon each other. When we focus on becoming 1% better each day, we slowly and steadily make progress. The journey isn't about taking a giant leap, it's about taking many small consistent steps in the right direction. Small actions repeated daily, compounded over time, create the momentum that leads to lasting change. In the same way, we must shift our mindset from seeking inspiration to embracing the power of discipline. Inspiration may come and go, but discipline is the constant force that guides us. When the motivation fades, when you develop a system of habits built on consistency, you no longer rely on fleeting bursts of enthusiasm to carry you through. Instead, you trust the system you've built, the daily actions that, when done consistently, yield results that speak for themselves. Small habits shape who we are. Our identity is not something we declare to the world, it is something we prove to ourselves every single day through our actions. When we make small improvements in our habits, those actions don't just lead to results, they lead to transformation. Each habit, no matter how small, sends a message to your subconscious that you are becoming the kind of person who follows through, who keeps promises, and who grows stronger with every small win. This is why, when you start with one habit and master it, you are laying the foundation for the next habit. One small change at a time is the most powerful way to transform your life. Mastering a single habit gives you the confidence and the proof that you can do it again. Once the first habit is solidified, it becomes easier to introduce the next one, and then the next, until these habits become second nature. It's not about trying to change everything at once. It's about gradually building a system of small wins that add up over time. These small wins, when stacked together, create a life that's both purposeful and fulfilling. The key to all of this is consistency. Success doesn't come from making a few big impressive moves. It comes from the quiet, consistent actions you take every day. Whether it's waking up early, reading a few pages, exercising for a few minutes, or making time for personal reflection, these small actions, done daily, lead to massive transformation. The process might seem slow, but over time the results are undeniable. The beauty of this approach lies in its simplicity. When you focus on taking care of the days, the future takes care of itself. It's not about waiting for the right moment, or hoping for perfect conditions. It's about making the most of each day, one small step at a time. The decisions you make today will determine where you end up tomorrow. And if you're committed to taking small, consistent actions every single day, the years will reward you with the results you're working toward. Too often we find ourselves distracted by the idea of needing more motivation, or a grand breakthrough to spark change. But the truth is, motivation is fleeting, and big changes are rarely sustainable. It's the small, steady actions that build long-term success. So don't wait for motivation to strike. Instead, focus on the system. Trust the small steps you're taking, and let them build momentum toward the future you want. As we reflect on the power of small habits, small actions, and small wins, we realize that change doesn't happen in big dramatic bursts. It happens in the quiet, consistent choices we make day after day. It's about making the right decisions, no matter how small they seem, and trusting that they will add up to something greater. Over time, these small decisions form the path toward a life of purpose, fulfillment, and lasting success. At the core of all this is a fundamental truth. The process is more important than the outcome. When we focus on improving our habits, our identity, and our daily actions, the results naturally follow. Success isn't a destination, it's a journey made up of thousands of small steps. It's the accumulation of those steps, those habits, and those moments that shape who we are and who we are becoming. So when you find yourself overwhelmed by the idea of making drastic changes, remember this: you don't need to change everything at once. Start small, focus on one habit, master it, and then move to the next. With each step you build confidence, you build momentum, and you build the future you want. In the end, it's not about doing more, it's about doing what matters, consistently, over time. The years will take care of themselves when you focus on taking care of the day. In conclusion, success is not a result of one grand gesture or a single monumental effort. It's the culmination of countless small actions, habits, and decisions made day after day. Each small action, no matter how insignificant it seems, is a building block for the future you want to create. By focusing on becoming 1% better every day, by letting discipline guide you when motivation fades, and by mastering one habit at a time, you are laying the foundation for transformation. The key is not waiting for inspiration to strike, but developing a system of small wins that keep you moving forward. And when you take care of the days, you'll find that the years will take care of themselves, bringing you closer to the life you've always wanted.